Are you wanting to start an LLC in Alaska but are not sure where to begin? Today, I will show you how to register an LLC in Alaska in only 10 steps without using an attorney. And I'll also give you some advice on where people typically have questions when filling out the paperwork. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and be notified when a new video on starting a business in Alaska is uploaded. So let's get to it. In order to officially form an Alaska LLC, you'll need to file the Articles of Organization with the Alaska Department of Commerce, Community, and Economic Development. The cost to file the Articles of Organization and create an Alaska LLC is $250, and every other year you'll have to file a biennial report and pay the state filing fee of $100. Filing online gives you the advantage of the paperwork being immediately filed, while filing by mail takes around 10 to 15 days for the state to process the paperwork. With the basics out of the way, I'll go over each of the sections and give some tips where people typically have questions. First off, we have to pick a name for the LLC. The name for your LLC is required to be different from the other LLCs registered in the state of Alaska. Before filing the Articles of Organization, I would recommend doing a name search on the state's website. If you aren't sure how to do that, I have a guide at startingyourbusiness.com that shows you how to do this. One requirement of the name is that there must be an entity designator at the end of the business name. The allowed designator can be Limited Liability Company, L.L.C. or LLC. The word limited can be abbreviated as LTD period, and company can be abbreviated as CO period. So, for example, your legal business name could be something like Alaska's Best Snow Cones LLC. In the next step, we need to include the statement of the LLC's purpose. This purpose can be any activity that is legal in the state of Alaska. For example, you might list your LLC's purpose as operating a home-based business, providing consulting services, or engaging in real estate investment. It is usually a little better to be kind of vague in case the focus of the business ever changes. To keep the business the most flexible, you can also use something like any lawful business for which a limited liability company may be organized under the laws of the state of Alaska. In step 3, we will enter a NAICS code, which is short for North American Industry Classification System. This code is used by the federal government to classify the different industries in which business operates. The drop-down will list many types of different industries. If the specific activity of your business isn't listed, choose the closest one. Also, your business may operate over multiple industries, so just pick the one that is the primary activity of your business. Next, there's a requirement for all Alaska LLCs where a registered agent must be appointed. I have a lot more information on the registered agent at startingyourbusiness.com, but to briefly explain, the registered agent is the central point of contact for the LLC and will accept legal paperwork like if the LLC gets sued. A registered agent can be an individual who will physically be at a designated address in the state of Alaska during normal business hours, or it can be a registered agent service. Provided that you, as the owner, will be available at a particular address during normal business hours, you can be the registered agent for the LLC. But some people will opt to hire a registered agent service since they won't be at the address during normal business hours, or they don't want their name and home address publicly listed. In this case, there are registered agent services that can fill this role pretty inexpensively. In step 5, you'll enter the mailing and physical address of the business. This may be, but is not required to be, the actual place of the business, but it can be the main location where the business records are kept. A physical address in the state must be used in the physical address section, as P.O. boxes are not allowed. But a P.O. box can be used, and even one that's out of state, for the mailing address. Next, you'll indicate whether the LLC is member managed or manager managed. Members are basically the owners of the LLC, while managers are hired by the LLC members to run the business, similar to the CEO of a corporation. Most LLCs will be member managed, but if not, select manager managed. In step 7, enter the organizer's name. The organizer for an LLC is someone who is filling out and filing the paperwork. This can be an owner, friend, accountant, registered agent service, etc. Click on the Add button to add the name of this person. Step 8 is an optional section. If there are any additional articles that need to be included in regards to the governance of the LLC, add them to this section. Next, have the organizer sign the Articles of Organization and include their phone number in case there is an issue with the filing. Then we get to the end of the form, and all that's left to do is review the Articles of Organization and pay the state filing fee. Now, before ending this video on how to form an Alaska LLC, I do want to let you know there are a few other steps that usually have to be taken after forming your LLC. The most important is that within 6 months of forming the LLC, you will have to file an initial report support with the Alaska Division of Corporations. Additionally, there are a few other things that you may have to do, such as creating an operating agreement, obtaining a business license, and applying for an employer identification number. I have more information over at startingyourbusiness.com, but I do want to be sure that you have the basics so that you can start your business correctly. So this wraps up this video on how to fill out the Articles of Organization to form an Alaska LLC. Hopefully, after this video, you can now feel confident in filling out the LLC Articles of Organization and starting an LLC on your own. If not, I have a written guide at startingyourbusiness.com, or maybe you just don't want to deal with filling out a state form, in which case you may want to look at having an LLC formation service do all this for you. And some are actually free to use. The two free services that I recommend are Zen Business and InkFile. Both walk you through the process, but if you're really worried about not doing something right, Zen Business would be my choice, as they really break down the process and make it simple to start an LLC. Another top service that I recommend is Northwest, and with our special link, you can get their service for $39 plus state fees, and they protect your personal information better than the other two. If you had any value from this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about forming your LLC or starting your business in Alaska, please head over to startingyourbusiness.com or ask a question in the comments.